Hello, good morning, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. This is our last video of 2020. 2020 will be not forgotten but not missed at all. And basically today I'm going to show a new feature that I implemented these days. Usually Christmas days are kind of slow on the work side, on the interruption work side anyway, and kind of higher on the family side interruptions. So I try to use these days kind of like a yearly vacation, disconnect a little bit and do something that I have on the long-standing list of things to do. This year I decided to learn a little bit about TiddlyWiki. TiddlyWiki is a interesting wiki documentation kind of thing, really comfortable and nice. I'm probably hopefully make a video about our integration and about with coreBOS, but right now I just wanted to say that TiddlyWiki doesn't have a way of saving the work you do here. It actually saves that in the browser, and you have to kind of dump the whole all of your work, the whole file, into the file system every time you want to back up your work. So here on the different ways of saving your information, because obviously I want to start working with it, so I had to save that information kind of in an easier way. So I had a look at the different integrations. It has a pluggable extension system like almost everybody else, and there are some plugins here to actually save the information. So I started looking here, and there were some desktop, a new browser, a desktop application which I'm not interested in. A Chrome extension was kind of interesting. This Timimu caught my attention. Node.js I wouldn't touch with a pole because I am totally against that kind of philosophy, so I have to look at that one. This one has Node.js in the description, so I don't have to look at that one either. Looking in Google Drive was kind of interesting, saving the information there, but I want to save the information locally on my servers. I don't want to have my information on somebody else's server, especially Google's. WebDav, this one caught my attention totally, absolutely totally. Casually, I was speaking with a partner and friend these past days about the WebDav integration. We had done something about 10 years ago. It was kind of interesting, but it never took off, probably because it was vTiger, I think, at that moment, and since we had to reprogram everything all the time, every time we did something with vTiger, it was kind of crazy and just didn't take off. So I had some code lying around, but I was kind of there waiting for that. So as I was looking for a long-standing project and something to do and learn, this had a lot of points. Emergency exports, Ruby, TiddlySpot. This one has an online server service, so kind of like the Google thing. JIT was interesting. Saving into a JIT repository is very interesting because you can version all of your information kind of natively. That was interesting, but I didn't get to look at it. Note Self was pretty good too. This is an interesting approach of saving all the information in local storage, PouchDB browser database. It was very interesting, but WebDav had more priority. And okay, Cloud Connectors and Dropbox, the same thing as this one. So anyway, in short, I went for the WebDav approach, and this video is about all of the things that this integration has brought to coreBOS. Let me see first. Since the goal is actually to be able to save TiddlyWikis, what I did, the first thing I did was configure my Apache to serve a WebDav directory. Okay, WebDav is a service whereas you can share files from a directory through the web browser. Okay, so instead of having your file system, if I come over here, for example, I have my directory. Okay, here I have my list of directories on my hard disk in my local server. I can go to any directory. I can add files. Just normal file management on the file system. This is working directly with my hard disk. Well, the thing is that what WebDav gives us is to be able to do this same kind of treatment with a remote directory that's on any other server in the world and act with it just as if it was a local file system. That's the goal of WebDav. It does that over HTTP, so we have the firewall open, and access and things like that. Very nice. Okay, so the first thing I do, obviously, since it's based on HTTP and web server, Apache has Apache Internet Information Server, Light HTTP. All of them have a DAV, a WebDav service. So first thing I decided to do was to configure my Apache to serve a directory. I created a directory on my web service with my directory. I actually could have been anywhere. I put it in the same place as all the other things, but it could have been anywhere. It's empty right now. I have that on one of these. This file system window is actually that directory. I don't have anything in there yet. And to configure this, I mean, there's a lot of information online, and you can just search for it. There's a lot of tutorials and things, and it's not hard to get working at all. Basically, I had to put this directive here in my Apache conf. You export the directory. You say that in that directory DAV is on. Obviously, you have to have had DAV installed and configured on your Apache web server, which is just one command, A to enable mode DAV and DAV FS. I deactivate PHP in this directory, so if somebody uploads a PHP file, it doesn't get executed for security reasons. I allow overriding, so you can actually put an htaccess there and get some information. And then I activated these options. This I don't think is actually necessary. By default, the ones that are there are correct. But anyway, so I added that. I rebooted my Apache, and hold on a second. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so I added this, and now what I should be able to do is to connect. Okay, so Apache is listening on that directory, and I can connect there. Let's see how I can do that. I can actually go here to my browser, put localhost WebDav, and I have this WebDav directory, okay, where I can actually just see the files that are here. So if I now copy this TiddlyWiki, which is on a temporary directory on my file system, and I copy it over here to the WebDav directory. Now if I reload this page, I have my file here. Now the nice thing about TiddlyWiki is that if I click here, it loads the TiddlyWiki, but TiddlyWiki knows that it's on a WebDav service, on the WebDav directory. So if I make a change here to the title, I mean, automatically I get this thing here to save the changes, and I click, and it actually saved the changes. That simple. I mean, that it's really that simple to make TiddlyWiki work on saving. So now this map, if I open it again, I have my change here. So that was actually the goal, to get TiddlyWiki being able to save easily and seamlessly. So that was really easy to get working. Okay, so let's see some other things now, because the interesting stuff comes now. Okay, I have this directory. I can actually connect to this directory. Let's look here. If I come over here to here in this window, I am accessing that directory as a normal directory on the file system. I'm not accessing it through the Apache browser, okay, like I did here in the browser when I accessed that directory. I'm accessing the physical drive on my hard disk. What I want to do is connect to it remotely. So here I'm going to come over to this window, and then other remote connections, I'm going to put here DAV okay, DAV colon / localhost webdav. Okay, this is basically the same thing I did in the browser where I put localhost webdav. Here I'm telling my file file manager that I want to use the DAV protocol to connect to this server, and I want to get to that directory. This localhost is actually my web server. It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere in the world. Actually, if I put an IP here and the WebDAV is connecting, so it will work. Here I connected. As you can see, I have here this mounted drive, and I can see the file that I was seeing in the that I just copied there through the file system access, which is this window up here. So now I can also copy things here and use this directory just as if it was anything else. Let's see if I come over here. Let's open a new window here, and here I have a bunch of files. If I copy this file from my file system image and I copy it here to this window, as you can see, it automatically got copied to the physical directory, but this actually used my HTTP browser. It actually is accessing through the port 80 and through Apache, so it could be anywhere in the world and it would copy that file there. And now if I come over here and I connect again to this localhost webdav, I can see that I have both files. I can download this one, I can open it, and like, okay, so so actually what we're doing here is that I can access this web directory through the browser easily through my file system management system. As you can see here, I should have here this one. Okay, this is actually, as you can see, this one is mounted. This one is exactly the same one I was seeing here, the var www webdav. This here I'm accessing the physical drive, and here I'm accessing through the Apache web service. The important part here is that I'm looking at the same files because I'm on the same server. But the important thing here is that actually this access here is through the web browser and could be anywhere in the world, and I could work with it as if I was working locally. Okay, I mean, I can open these files locally. I can create a new file here, test HTML, and this is empty, but I can edit. I mean, I am actually on the DAV server. I'm accessing this. I created that file through HTTP. I can edit this file, and I can put here h1 hello world. Okay, I'll get it. I can save this, reload this page, load this, and get that hello world. Okay, so I'm actually editing files on the server, on my Apache server, through a normal access and file management system of my operating system. Okay, next thing. Okay, let's see how. The next thing was to see, okay, I have a WebDAV configured using Apache. This has nothing to do with coreBOS. It's just normal Apache configuration. It's working fine. I have my TiddlyWiki saving. But the goal of this was to kind of see if we could get coreBOS to play well with that WebDAV and get some things there. So I picked up the code we had. I refreshed it, looked at it, I kind of cleaned it all up, brought it up to pace with the latest version of Sabre DAV. Sabre DAV is this one. Sabre DAV is an open source project, which is the integration we have now with coreBOS, and basically the reason I'm presenting this video. Basically, it permits us to use PHP code to serve or to create a WebDAV server without having to configure Apache. I mean, the work that I just did and I just showed you is very easy to do and works very well. But if I had to access the coreBOS documents, which is basically what I'm trying to do here, I would get the structure. I think I have that one open here. I have the structure here that coreBOS gives us. Okay, coreBOS gives us in the storage directory the documents you upload, structured by year, for example 2020, then by month, and then I can come here to December and I can go to week 4 by weeks, and week 4s I can see that I have some files here. These files are, I can't open most of them because I don't have permissions. They're have been created by the web server user. So as a normal user I can't even access them, and I have to understand this structure. I mean, week 4 of December, I mean, these files, I don't know. I don't know actually. I mean, I don't know if they're related to a client, to a contact, to a if they're just files that I uploaded, if they're in a folder that makes sense to me in coreBOS and the like. I kind of lose all of that information that is so important in the document system. I mean, these folders here and all this structure that I have created, I don't see that if I access directly. So if we activated the WebDav service on the storage directory, obviously if you had permissions, you could edit and copy files and do things there. But for example, if you copy a file there, it does not going to create a document record for you, because obviously you're accessing at the physical level. I mean, it has no idea that you're actually manipulating those files there. So although the WebDAV on the Apache is very useful, it's not what we need to be able to manage and work with the document system. So Sabre DAV will permit us to create a WebDAV service just like the one in Apache, but we can export information as we need. We can actually export the documents and the files and the records as if they were physical files and manipulate them logically when you interact with the file system. So it's very interesting. Anyway, let's get into it, and it's probably much easier to see than to talk about it. Okay, I have no documents at the moment. This is a clean install, and what we have to do is go to that directory. That was coreBOS test. Okay, and basically I'm going to put here WebDAV. Okay, so after this integration, which I uploaded to GitHub already, any coreBOS install in the world that's up to date can just add the WebDAV directory to their URL, and they should get the access request. Okay, so we're going to actually export a WebDAV service. It asks for the name of the user and the access key. Okay, which is why I copied here. Okay, I'm accessing this coreBOS test install with the admin user and my access key. This is important because we are going to export the document system, the document module, through WebDAV. So it needs to know what user you are, because it's going to show you only those records that you have access to. I mean, all of the permission system that is configured in coreBOS will be respected through WebDAV. So if it's a private, documents are private and I don't have access to them, it won't show me those records. Okay, it did not work. It just sits there and says that I can't access. If I cancel, it will say that I don't have any authorization. Okay, this is because by default the service is deactivated. Okay, it's kind of well, it's not insecure because it's protected by your users, your user access, but it is it's another point of entry. So what I did was actually deactivate it by default, and you have to come here to the global variables. We have a new global variable which is WebDAV enabled, and you have to enable this for the users that you want to activate it for. I'm going to activate it by default for all users, just for the demo. And now I should be able to access this again and get in. Very good. Okay, so now we created this UI where you can actually see the information in your document module. As you can see, it gives us two top level folders, document structure and module structure. So if I go into documents, I can see all of the folders that I have in my coreBOS, these folders here, Avengers, X-Men, Defenders, whatever, and they're all here. And I can actually go into one of these and see all of the files that are in this directory. Now there aren't any, but I can select one. And let's do this one. And I have uploaded this file. It's an image, and hopefully I should have that file here. Okay, so it actually created. Okay, something went wrong there. Probably. Let's create another global variable just in case. No, not edit, create. Because I'm probably running into that. Happened to me before. Application, upload, max size. Okay, I'm going to put here 20 megabytes for everybody. Save. Okay. This one is 2.9. I'm not sure if that entered, but it didn't upload correctly for some reason. Yeah. Okay, let's try that again. Anyway, this was working correctly, so let's try a smaller file. Okay, that one worked. 643, and let's try this one again, just in case. Okay, I have to find out why that one's not working. It's kind of strange. Okay, anyway, as you can see, as I upload files through this UI that we have created, they actually fall into the directory that I selected here. And now I can navigate to any directory and upload any file and do anything I want. So that works. But what's even nicer is that I can actually come over here to the other directory, which is modules, and I get a list of all of the modules that are related to the document module. Okay, so what's nice about this Sabre DAV integration is that it's treating the file system, the document module, as at a high level kind of conceptual structure. I mean, it knows that we have modules in the system, and the modules are related to documents, and it will show me if I go into organizations. It gives them by letters, kind of structure. So then I'm going to C, and I'm going to go into CH, and here I have all of my actual counts that are in the coreBOS system. I'm going to pick this CHEMEC Labs, and I'm going to upload a file here, which is let's go over here and get one of these images. Okay, this one. Okay, I uploaded this image, but notice that I'm in the record of CHEMEC Labs. Okay, so I'm actually in this. I uploaded a document, but I'm in this directory. In this logical directory. So if I come over here to documents, that went into the default folder because I'm not in a folder like I was before. Okay, but if I go here, if I go into this file, as you can see, it uploaded correctly, and I look at the related list, it knows it actually related it with the CHEMEC Labs record. Okay, so if I open this record in another tab and I go to documents, where are you? Documents. I actually have that document there related. So this integration is really nice because it permits me to quickly add documents to records directly. Okay, so as you can see, very nice, kind of easy. You can also, just one last comment, here in the documents file, you can actually create new folders, and this is this actually adds the new folder here. Okay, so if I go now to my documents module and I load here and I look at the empty ones, I should have the new folder here. Okay, so that works. You can do that. And so this is really nice. I mean, you have a native WebDav service just by accessing the WebDav directory on any coreBOS. I mean, you don't have to do anything, configure anything, or anything. It just kind of works. It gives you all the folders. It actually permits you to see your documents at a logical level, at the metadata level of your document structures in coreBOS. Okay, but some even more interesting stuff. If I come over here and I connect again as we did before, I do the DAV localhost WebDav, but now I connect to coreBOS test WebDav. Okay, so now I'm connecting not to the Apache configured directory that I exported and configured at the Apache level, but I'm connecting to my coreBOS install and the WebDav directory. Okay, the WebDav service configured in my coreBOS, and I try to connect here. Oops. No. Okay. I think here I have to put the server PHP. I have to put the whole thing because it doesn't know that it has to use that one. Because it's okay, because that's very important. Absolutely. For this to work, your Apache has to have rewrite module service installed and configured. Okay, it needs the rewrite. That rewrite will redirect you to the to the server PHP file that I put here. And since here in the WebDav there's no actual Apache there, it kind of accesses directly. It needs to know exactly what file it is. So anyway, you have to put this URL, the URL of your coreBOS, the WebDav directory, and server PHP. Okay, here again it asks me for the user I want to connect with, and again user and access key and whatever. Okay, I think I don't have the right password. Let me copy that again. Okay. Oh, come on. Oh. Okay, I don't know why this one doesn't want to connect. I'm not sure actually. I got it working before because I did a lot of tests before, but I wasn't sure if I think I actually didn't get this one to work. I don't know why. I ended up doing it on the operating system. There's a lot of tutorials on how to do this actually. Depending on your operating system, if it's Mac or if it's Windows, whatever. And this was the recommended way of doing it for Linux using Nautilus. But I ended up doing it this way with this command on the files on the command line. I do a mount DAV file system. I connect to the HTTP localhost coreBOS WebDav directory, which is the coreBOS test WebDav directory. I load that into the WebDav directory, which is a local one. Okay, here I have a directory which is WebDav. It's empty. So I'm doing this sudo mount of that directory of this coreBOS service onto this directory, and I'm using it. I want to connect as my user. So as you can see, it says, hey, okay, I'm connecting there. I need to know what user, just like we were doing before. I do admin and I paste in the access key, and it says that I'm connected, no problem. And here in the WebDav, now I can actually see that I have the documents and the module, the same structure that I have here. Okay, documents and module, documents and module. Okay, this is I loaded this at the file system level. That means that here now I have this WebDav directory, as you can see, and it shows me the documents and modules. I'm going to close this one, and I'm going to use the same one I was using before. Okay, here I'm using DAV localhost WebDav, I'm accessing actually through the DAV protocol to the server. No, this one is the direct. This is the direct Apache one, and this one is that. Okay, so now if this is the direct Apache one, this WebDav directory here, as you can see, it says home Joe WebDav. This is my local directory, which I mounted through the file system, through the command line. So if I access here, I am seeing, let's click this one and this one. Okay, I'm seeing the same structure, documents and modules, documents, and I see all of my folders. We clicked here, I can see that I have the folders. We tried another one, which I don't remember which one it was, but anyway, as you can see, I have the files here. I can actually create a file here, create a new folder, and we would have new folders. The other one I created through the but I can do new folder 2 or file system, and if we go to the documents module, I should now see new folder file system. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that I'm actually working with my coreBOS through the file system the file manager in my operating system. I can see the folders, I can upload files, I can come here to this new folder, I can come open another screen here with my okay, I don't want to lose this one, with my images, for example, and I can get an image and copy it here to my new folder, just like I would copy to anywhere else. And now if I come over here to my document module, I should have, okay, here it took a little while. I have the new folder file system, and I have this image here, which I can see and download as I would have as if I had created here, clicking on the create document. So I can actually interact with my coreBOS through the file system, file manager in my operating system. What's really nice here is that, again, as if we do it the way we did before, if I come over here to the module view, I see all my modules. If I connect this, obviously I just noticed that if this is all translated, I have organizations here, but if you access with a user in another language, it should show you that should show you the modules translated by the coreBOS backend, because actually we are accessing this through the coreBOS. Okay, going to go back to the Chemex labs here, and now I'm going to do something which is really one of the nice and powerful things that we have accomplished with this integration, which is mass uploading things. Okay, so I can actually get these 3 files, copy them over here, and we have to wait a little bit, but hopefully I should get 3 new files. There we go. Okay, takes a little bit. We maybe should check why it takes it so long, but anyway, I get 3 new files. So I just basically mass created 3 files. Okay, come on. I just mass uploaded 3 files into a directory by copy and just drag and drop them into this file system. It created 3 files for me, and if I go to the Chemex more information, it actually related them to that record, because it knows that I'm copying them to that file. So we just accomplished being able to mass upload files directly to any record in coreBOS, any record, because I mean I picked the accounts, but we could have done it with assets or invoices or anything. You just drag and drop files into the okay, this is okay, let's look at that one too. not this one. I don't want that one. I want this one. Okay, so basically just dragging and dropping these files into a directory as you would with any local directory, and you're actually working with your coreBOS. If you can see here in the storage directory, the physical file storage directory in week 5, all of the files that we're uploading are actually here. I mean, they copied them in, and they're here. So you're working with your coreBOS as if you were creating records inside coreBOS, but really transparent way. Okay, this gives us another option, something that I have been wanting to do for a long time, which is basically to be able to edit files directly inline. I mean, kind of directly edit the file directly on the record. Wow, that was terrible. Anyway, let's see if I could get a better explanation of that. The goal is here. We have GenDoc. GenDoc is a very powerful tool that's very important in the system because it permits you to create the outputs that you're going to generate on invoices and other kind of documentation. The problem is that if I upload a template to the document module, which is where I have to upload them to be able to use them, and I want to change it, I want to make a change, I want to see, I want to add some difference, or especially when we're creating the template for the first time, where you're kind of tweaking and moving things up or down, adding some things, it's very uncomfortable, because you have to download the document, make the change, and upload the document again, test it, and then repeat. And you're downloading and uploading all the time. It's kind of very uncomfortable. In fact, what I usually do when I create a template that I have to create one, I actually come over here to the storage directory and find the document that I uploaded directly, and edit it here. Okay, I change the permissions and I open it with OpenOffice here. Okay, because it's really I mean, it's just easier. Okay, but I can do that if I'm using or creating the template locally. If I'm creating the template online on some service that I have in a server somewhere, I can't do that because I don't have access to the file system until now. Now we have WebDav and we can actually do that. So I'm gonna give that a try, and we're gonna see how actually amazing that is. Okay, I'm gonna come over here to the Documents module, and here in the Application Template directory, I'm going to upload a template. I'm gonna get one that I have probably here, ODT, invoice expression. For example, doesn't matter, anyone. Okay, this is a GenDoc template, so I'm gonna copy it over here. Okay, now I'm gonna come over here to my document system, and okay, while we wait for that, I'm gonna come over here and I'm going to activate the GenDoc. Where are you? Generate documents, activate module. That was for the invoice module, so I'm going to activate this on that module. Okay, and now here I'm going to get this invoice expression which was uploaded, and I'm going to tell it that it is a template and that it is for the invoice module. Okay, this should give me the possibility to come over here to my invoices and have my invoice expression here. I can export this. Oh, why is that? Oh. Okay, we have a GenDoc error here. Okay, let me see if I can fix that real quick and see what's going on. Okay, I found the error. It was the document was actually incorrect. Anyway, we'll see. I'll discuss that now. Okay, I just exported, clicked here, exported, and you can see I get my document here. and it says invoice box X, total of the invoice is 189093, and if I round that, or if I round something there, it goes to 9004. Oh, it's kind of strange. Let's see where that 9004 comes from. Kind of strange. Okay, anyway, okay, what is this? I mean, where is this coming from? Let's have a look at that file. I'm going to close that one, and we're going to open up here the file. Where was it? Where did we copy that from? Here, I think. Yeah. Okay, this is on my file system. Let's see what this has inside. Okay, this one says invoice subject, which actually gave us the subject, the box X, the grand total, which was 18,000 whatever, 189093, and then it says, okay, expression, a workflow expression that does a round of that 1890 divided by 0.21 and rounds it to 2. Okay, so actually we're doing a workflow expression on that, which will give us that 9004 whatever. Okay, so this is a template, a GenDoc template, and this is how we get outputs. Now the thing is that if I want to add something here, I have to either download the file, which is here, download it, edit it on my local system, and then edit the record and upload it again, which is kind of uncomfortable, very error prone and very hard to do. So what I usually do is come over here to the file system. As you can see here, this is my real file system where the document was uploaded. I change the permission on the template, and I just double click here. So now I'm actually working with the template, but on the file system. I'm actually changing it. I'm changing this file directly behind coreBOS without even asking coreBOS nor telling coreBOS that I'm changing it. So for example, the size will probably change and it will be false. I mean, it's going to be wrong, but it will work because in the end it's not going to actually do anything. I mean, coreBOS doesn't really use that size just for information. So but anyway, you are kind of hacking the system to do this. So what I want to do is to be able to edit this file, make changes here, and actually see them through the WebDav file system. So if I come over here, I'll find it finally. Let's close some windows because if not, we're getting too much noise. Okay, if I come over here, now here I'm accessing the documents, the application templates. I'm on the WebDav directory, so I'm accessing my local directory, but through my Apache, so through my my file system, through the browser. Sorry. If I double click here, I'm going to get this error. It says that it can access the file. OpenOffice can access that file because it's on a remote system and it needs to do some things, so I can only open it in read-only mode, which is not what I want to do. So what happens here is that we have to open the writer, and it has a system here which is abrir archivo remoto, open remote file. Here we can actually add a new service, which is going to be WebDav. We're going to connect to localhost. We're going to give it a name which is coreBOS test, and we want to connect. I don't remember how I did this last time. Let's see if we can do this like this. coreBOS test WebDav. I think it was like this. Okay, it asks me for my password. This is my local password, not the coreBOS password. This is a management system that it does here. And okay, so it's saved. Okay, normally the first time I did it, it asked me for the user I wanted to connect with, which was again my user, my access key, just like we did 3 or 4 times already now. As you can see, now I can access my coreBOS install just like I was doing before. Documents, all of my folders. I can go to the modules, I can see the records, so I could actually kind of work with a related document easily. I'm going to come over here to Documents, Application Templates, and I'm going to edit my invoice. Okay, so now I am actually connecting directly to the document record on my coreBOS remotely. Okay, so I can actually add here some more comments and field labels, like maybe we could do invoice dot what, I don't know, no idea, invoice dot due date. Okay, that one should be there. No, don't know if you know it's due date or due underscore date. So we have to come over here. Hold on, I'll find it. Tools, GenDoc, labels, and we go to invoice module, and due date, invoice due date. Okay, I got that right. So if I close here, I'm gonna do that. Yep. Okay, and we're gonna save. Now if that worked correctly, I should have here this document, which is 8.87 kilobytes. If I reload this, didn't change, the version changed, but the size didn't. That's kind of strange. Okay, anyway, now I should be able to come over here to my invoice and download this again, and here are my new fields and comments. Okay, so in short, I mean, making it kind of complex. It really isn't. I mean, basically, it's just, the idea is that thanks to this WebDav integration, we can now actually edit online directly using OpenOffice any file that we have on the inside our coreBOS. Okay, this is really powerful. I have been wanting, this is one of the long-standing things I've been wanting to do in coreBOS for a long time. There are some very interesting services online which Nextcloud permits, and there's a project called Colabora Online, which permit you to edit in your browser OpenOffice templates. Okay, so you can actually, Nextcloud is a wonderful project. It permits groupware, and it has a WebDav also. You can upload documents and store your documents and share them, and really, files, all kind of files. Really powerful, really nice. And one of the features that it has is that you can it actually knows that one of the files is an OpenOffice document, and you can just double click on it and edit it in the browser. You have an online editor like you have in Google Docs, but with OpenOffice functionality, and you can actually have edit your documents in the browser. I've been wanting to do that for a long time because this GenDoc thing is important, and having to do all the work of downloading and uploading every time just to make a simple change, it's a problem. I mean, it gets in your way. So I've been wanting to add the Colabora Online or the online editing for a long time, but now I think I don't need it anymore. Thanks to this WebDav integration, I can just use my OpenOffice normally. I mean, I don't have to set up any services online, because you need to do some magic on the server to get the online editing working in the browser. Now we don't have to do anything. I mean, we just have to access the documents through the WebDav integration, and you can use your OpenOffice with all the functionality that it has, with all the things you are normally doing, and it will just update directly your record through WebDav protocol. So actually, I killed two long-standing issues for me with this WebDav integration. One is the WebDav itself, to be able to access the information and do this kind of things. The mass upload is a found feature which is really powerful, really nice. But for me, what is really incredible is that we can actually edit the GenDoc templates and work directly with them through the WebDav protocol. So really nice. Finally, I'm going to comment one more thing. This video is getting a little long, but it has been a surprising feature. One more thing. The whole the whole goal of this thing, of this project, was to be able to upload, to be able to work with TiddlyWiki. Okay, to be able to save the TiddlyWiki's work that I do on the WebDAV service. So what I wanted to do was actually, I already accomplished that with the Apache configuration, which was rather easy. But I was kind of looking to create, to be able to use the WebDAV integration that I created to upload the WebDAV, the TiddlyWiki to coreBOS. Okay, so so I kept on going. I did a little bit more things, and I got that working also. Okay, basically what I did was this. I create here in my documents, I create a new document. Let's upload that through the file system also. I'm going to put it here in the application templates directory, for example. That's fine. I'm going to get this TiddlyWiki map, which is the one that I edited and I copied to the WebDAV, the Apache WebDAV directory thing, and I'm going to copy it over here to my coreBOS. If that worked correctly, it should be in the default folder, I think. I know what folder am I in here. Application templates. Okay, so I should have it down here in application templates. Okay, it uploaded it here. Now there's a trick here. For security reasons, coreBOS will not upload HTML files and leave them with the HTML extension. It actually changes the extension on you because this is a security issue. Now I can click here and actually execute this file. So if somebody uploads malicious code into the HTML file, it would actually execute in the browser of the client, of the user, which is kind of dangerous. So so coreBOS automatically changes the extension to TXT. But for me to get, for us to get the, actually for TiddlyWiki to work, it has to be HTML. I actually want to execute that, even if it could contain malicious code. I want that to happen actually. So for that to happen, you have to make a change in your coreBOS, which I'm going to show you now. Bring over my editor, and basically you have to. Okay, I don't know what I did there. You have to come over here to your config inc file, and here I already have this open. Here you have this upload bad extension array, which contains all of the extensions that we're going to rename. Okay, among them here we have HTML. Okay, right before the HTML I had HTML, and I had to eliminate that from this array, kind of saying, okay, it's not a bad extension anymore. I actually want you to be able to upload HTML files and not modify them. Okay, so now I have my document, my TiddlyWiki, loaded here, the whole file, the whole batch, the whole big enormous file. Okay, so I can come over here. I can no, here on this this UI, I can come over here, and I have my map here, and I can click on it, and it will execute because it's HTML. And now I'm loading this through the WebDAV. TiddlyWiki will notice again that this is on a WebDAV, and so I can actually change this and save. It saves directly, and what happened was that it actually came here and it uploaded. Let's look at this version, and the size probably won't change because it's megabytes and I just added 4 letters. So, but anyway, look at the version. It should upload. Okay, and the change, the size is also changed. Okay, so basically it saves the whole blob, the whole HTML file into your document record. Okay, so if I go back and I reload this, we could have looked at the bytes 24 anyway, and I click on this again, it loads, and I have my WebDAV change here. So actually I'm saving. I'm also working. I also solved that. Okay, so basically we could save all of my TiddlyWiki work, all of my wikis, into document modules on the inside my coreBOS. So really kind of useful and nice also. We are also working on another extension to be able to save the individual TiddlyWikis, tiddlers, into into coreBOS. That has a lot of advantages because then you could actually work on your tilders inside coreBOS, like mass editing them or deleting them, or kind of applying permissions to different tilders, or relating different tilders to different records in the system. I mean, it has a lot of other advantages. This solution is not really not really powerful in the sense that I lose all of the visibility of my wikis here. I mean, this is all inside this HTML file. I can't search for for certain wikis or certain things that have things. It's kind of lacking. So we are working on more powerful TiddlyWiki integration, but this is at the moment it does do what we needed to do. Anyway, it has been a journey, 2 or 3 days of work with a lot of interruptions with family and like, so it has been fun. But I think we ended up with a really nice gift for the end of the year. And just wanted to comment a list of things that are pending. What is missing? What would really be nice to have going forward if we had some more time? Basically, 2 or 3 things. I mean, most of the things that I wanted to do or accomplish, I accomplished, and maybe even more. One of the things that I found is that if I come over here to the WebDav and I search for I don't know, invoice, this works. This actually starts searching, and I should get my invoice templates, and it actually works. I mean, really nice, but it's slow. As you can see, it's still searching. I understand that it's probably looking inside, I don't know, all of the records, or I don't know exactly what it's doing there. I don't remember. I don't know, but it works. So one of the things that I would like to do if we had time was just to optimize the queries, have a look, see what it's searching for, what is it looking for, and kind of make them faster and kind of easier to work with that. In that line, it would be nice also to have a look why it takes so long to create files. I mean, when you upload them, you have to wait a little bit for it to get done, and I don't understand exactly why. That would be nice to kind of optimize the speed and get it a little. Another thing that I would like to do is this. If I click right click on this file, on any file, we have a list of properties. Okay, here we have the access, the creation time, modification, where it lives, and some other stuff. WebDav gives us a way to export more information. We can export any properties that we want from the document module. So ideally, what I would like to see would be a business map in coreBOS, where you say, okay, WebDav export fields or something like that. A set of fields that are on the document module and that we want to export. So for example, if I come over here to the document module and I say, okay, I mean, we have some custom fields, or if I have an assigned to, or document number, or created by, or if it's a template or not, any of these fields or any custom fields that I add to this document module, I want to see them here. I want to be able to see that information in the properties of so the meta information that I have in coreBOS, actually see it as if it was part of the file. Obviously, also we should be able to search on that information here, as just like I searched on the name. I should be able to search on the properties also. So that would be really nice. And finally, the next step, I think, would be to tackle another long-standing issue in coreBOS, which is the subfolders. We have been asked and needing subfolder management for a long time, and this really takes us a step closer, in the sense that we should be able to somehow relate documents among them, folders among themselves, and actually be able to see that folder structure here as if it were just like we're already doing here. I mean, this is this module. When I go into a module, I see the modules, the letters that this module has. For example, there's no Z, or there's no Y, W's, because there's no asset, because I'm in the asset module, that asset record that starts with that letter. So it actually went to the database, it looked at all my assets, and it created these virtual folders for me, which shows me that I have an asset that starts with an A. Okay, then it goes in again and says, okay, the ones that start with A, N, and S, it kind of makes it easier. These are virtual folders, so we could actually kind of create some subdirectory structure inside coreBOS now and actually see this via WebDav kind of really nice and easily. Anyway, those are pending things, probably for next year, hopefully, or for some other time that we have some need for that. And obviously, if you want to chip in and you need this kind of functionality, obviously contact us and we can attend these things. Or if you see anything else missing, let me know and we can add it to the endless list of things that we have to do. Well, thank you for holding on so long. I hope you had a nice or healthy 2020. It was a very strange year for all of us. I hope 2021 brings a better year and a lot of nice things for us, at least better things than this past year has brought. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of coreBOS, and see you soon.